I'm Pauline.
Hey, I'm Priscilla.
I'm Pal.
And I'm Tamiron.
And welcome to the P3T podcast.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I can hear you
too. So today, we are talking about comparison. Basically, comparison in terms of you comparing yourself to others, you being compared by people with others, if that makes sense. So we'll just jump right into the first question. And how have all of you here been compared to others in the past, or even like in the present? Like Kailfanyika Jana, that's pretty much present.
For me, in terms of my education, I think I touched on this in the forgiveness episode, where I was compared to the smartest girl in our class. So mostly it was in my education, because I can say I wasn't a struggling student, but I was expected to be the best. So I guess it's every parent's dream for the kid to be the best in the academics. So I was compared a lot to the smart kids, like, oh, why can't you be like them? Or why can't you, what are they doing that you're not doing? So I guess that's where I've been compared. Also, there was a period in primary where I was compared in terms of like my sassiness, like in terms of friendships, because a lot of times back then there was this whole friendship group, all that, and which friendship group is more superior than the other friendship group. It's so weird. So I guess there's this level of authority. Even at some point in my first high school, there was a kind of thing where you had to be more authoritative. So like there was this comparison between the more authoritative girls, like who is more authoritative than the other. Yeah. And yeah, basically in friendships and academics. Yeah.
I have also been compared academically to my classmates, to my sister, but then not by my parents per se, but mostly by teachers. Obviously, especially in primary was a very toxic time, to be very honest. So like I'd be compared to like, let's say a certain classmate should not be beating me. Why are they beating you? And then also academically yes. And then also I feel like it wasn't put in my face, but there was a silent comparison between me and my sister, I felt. So for context, my sister is smart, like she's an A student, literally. In high school, she got an A. In primary school, she also got an A. So I feel like my teachers, both in high school and primary, probably silently compared me to my sister. And we're like, okay, where she's... What? There was actually a teacher who blatantly told me, I think...
In high school?
In high school.
Oh my God.
What?
A physics teacher. I hated that man from that day. But yeah, there's also another math teacher also compared me to my sister. But anyway, yeah, I have been compared to, mostly academically. I feel like your beauty, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I remember in primary, there was like a list of the most beautiful to the I don't say ugliest, but to the least attractive.
Yeah.
So obviously in that regard, I also have been compared. I don't know where I ranked. I would like to know if you are in that committee. Let me know. I'm just curious. But yeah, I have been compared.
Fully.
I've also been compared. I feel like comparison is very much... I just said comparison.
Turning it to me.
I feel like comparison is very much a part of life, especially if you have siblings, especially if you have older siblings. Okay, for me, I think most of my comparison came from like siblings. Very little of it was external, but a lot of it was internal. Again, it's not like they shove it in your face. Like I can't say I've ever been sat down, at least not by my parents. By teachers, yeah, but like by my parents, like I can't say anyone
They
in this house
outrightly-
has ever outright gone, you're not as good as your big brother. Like no,
Yeah.
but like there's always just those, you just feel
Undertones.
it. Sometimes you just feel it. Like I don't even know how to explain. But yeah, in primary I also had a couple of teachers who used to tell me, I taught your sister, you're not even as good as her. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm sitting right here. What do you mean? I'm sitting, those are things you say behind my back. Why are you saying it to my face? But yeah, but it was in primary, so I'd like to think I don't care anymore. And I feel like I'm not just saying that, like I genuinely feel like it did make that big an impact on me. But yeah, comparison, I feel like it's a part of life. It's not a good part of life. It shouldn't be a part of life, but it is a part of life.
For me, guy, Aki, you need to take away all those guys that I say in this podcast. Anyway, comparison is like my second name. It's like my middle name. So, once again, for those who don't know, I have a twin.
What's up?
And and when you're a twin, everything, especially identical twins, everything down to your walking styles are compared. A lot of people in high school would tell me like I walk a bit differently, not a bit, a lot differently. And in university, now that I'm not with my sister, barely anyone has told me that. I know bado natembea kama sijui kutembea, lakini like people don't notice as often. Even like my voice is a bit high, but it's not like extremely high. But because my sister's voice is deeper than mine, it's people always said, "Oh, Paul, you have such a high voice." Only one person has come out to tell me, "Oh, you have a high voice," because I was with somebody who had a lower voice. They're like, "Oh yeah, but then your voice is actually high." And that was like, it's been like a year of knowing this person now, and this is when they're like, "Yeah, but then I've never noticed."
So it's not even that your voice is high, it's just that it's higher.
Yeah, it's just higher.
Right.
So, I've been compared to a lot. I've had a lot of like body image issues because for the longest time I've been a bit bigger than my sister in terms of weight. Yeah, and it's not like I'm not overweight. My weight is not to the point where like it's critical. It's medically critical. So. But people would still say all the time, and it's like, yeah, they're trying to start up conversation, but like everywhere you go, people are telling you, no, si kula sana namalizia sister yako chakula, yeah, and you're telling that to a young child, like from kindergarten all the way up to now, people will tell me, si kula sana, na wewe unafaa kununua nguo kubwa kidogo kulika sister yako, and yeah, it's in jest, but it's just not. It doesn't sit well with me, at least. So even like academically, my sister is smarter than she did better in school than me. So people like teachers would now, you see, at least for you time, like it was 1 or 2 occasions. Yeah, one time in primary, a teacher fully took me out of class. Yani, we were learning. Fully took me to the staff and asked me, "Is there something going on? Why is your sister performing better than you?" And teachers would blatantly, obviously show, like, your sister is better than you, you're not better than you. Some girl walked up to me and told me, "Hey, Pa, your sister is performing well and you're not performing well." So being a twin, for me, is such a basis of comparison. Everything will be compared, everything will be, you have this, but your sister doesn't have this, but your sister, but your sister. So, yeah, I have, Pearl comparison is my name because I've gone through it. I've gone through all of it. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait. I'm not trying to make this a trauma war or anything.
Oh, sorry.
No, because I'm about to add on to something. I'm just also like adding to your point. Also, me, it's okay. thankfully mine wasn't like right in my face, your sister is better. But you know how you just tell
Yeah.
people are comparing me and my sister. Because personally, first of all, I'm older. She's younger. But when she left high school, she had a significant amount of awards on sports, on science congress, on academics, literally every facet that is school. She had an award on something. Personally,
Ulitoka tu.
nilitoka tu.
Ulitoka na masomo.
I just left my
So
books.
ulitoka na certificate. Sema umemaliza.
Hiyo ndio inamata.
Yeah. So, like, I get you when you say you've been compared, especially with regard to your sibling, both you and Pauline as well, because like, I just thank God my parents are amazing, so they don't threat it. I feel like if it were by my parents, I would be depressed.
Yeah.
But because it's not by anyone who holds any significant, they don't hold any position in my heart, I don't, like, I feel it, but I don't feel it as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... And then the fact that she's younger, but she's better. Hey!
It's just like, really?
Yeah. I feel like aside from me being compared, I also compare myself to her.
I think it's a natural, it's what naturally comes from being constantly compared. Because like sometimes, even me, like when I'm in school, I find myself, none of my siblings have done the same thing that I'm doing in university. Like none of them. But still, I'll be like, I need to pass this unit because my brother did well in this unit or a similar unit. And it's not like anything. It obviously just comes from the fact that when I was younger, I was often told, you must pass science because your brother passed science. You must pass math because your sister passed math. You know, like Tamiron said, I just thank God it's not coming from like parents. And my heart goes out to all those out there who are constantly being compared by their parents. Because that life, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Like, my God. Constantly. That's the only thing you're hearing in your own house. I don't know if I would do it.
Okay, Priscilla.
Can I just say something? I know you guys have siblings. I'm the only child, so I won't relate, but I feel so like I'm sorry. Like,
I could just see you are compared to this other girl in school.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't know. I think for instance, when I think like in your case and also for Tamiron, where you guys were, also for you, Pauline, where you're compared by a teacher and the teacher literally tells you, oh, you're not like your sister or something like, I think that's so wrong. Truthfully speaking, I don't even think that person should be a teacher in the first place, to be honest, because that is just a lack of empathy. Pure empathy. And it's, I don't know, I just feel so sad. Like, Kai.
Thank you. Thank you. Could I also just put it on the record, just like Tamron's and Pauline's parents, I've never been compared by my parents. It's always been like external. So like I go out there in the world, I'm compared, but at least when I come into my own home, I didn't have that toxic culture, which I think was good for mine and my parents' relationships, because gosh, if they did that to me, I wouldn't go on another side. So
I'd be a crackhead.
Simple.
Just for rebelliousness sake.
So I feel like Tamron, you've touched on this a little bit about how now like subconsciously or even consciously you started comparing yourself to your sister sometimes. So in that light, how have you guys seen yourself comparing yourselves to others, and how do you feel when you're comparing yourself to others? So like, do you feel like, oh, like this person is doing and I'm happy for them, or do you feel like, oh, this person is doing this and I'm feeling insecure about it, or do you feel like, oh, this person is doing this but I'm better? Yeah. Priscilla.
For me, I think I've learned to be happy when someone has their moment. So if let's say it was in a point where we were competing for a certain role or something, and then they get it and I don't, I think I've realized like, okay, I've gotten to that point in my life where I'm like, okay, there's a reason for it. Maybe it wasn't for me. So, or even maybe something better is cut out for me or not, you know? So I just let it go. But I want to be happy for that person. Like, yes, there's that kauchungu you'll feel. Like, oh, I lost that or I couldn't get it. But I want to be happy for that person. And I think everything starts with choice. So I want to be happy for that person. So I will celebrate with you. I will nurse my wounds later. So, yeah, but there's this particular moment I can recall where I was applying for Yale Young Global Scholars, YYGS.
Forgot about that.
I actually applied for both YYGS and African Scholars.
Yes.
So I didn't get into either, and I spent so much time on it, and my friend managed to get into it. I was a little bit sad because I'm like, it would have been nice if we went, both of us together. But I think I was happy for her. Like, I was paid by the money though. Was it the entry money? I mean the application fee. Yeah, because it was like $60. I cried. Okay, either way, it was a very painful time thinking even about the money in the Kikuyu in me. But at the same time I was feeling like a little bit bad because I really wanted to like experience something, like go to the US. So yeah, I nursed my wounds, but I was happy for her. I think I can't really recall a point in time where I was like bitter with someone because they got into something that I wanted. I can't really recall a moment like that.
Insecure?
Yeah, insecure. Yeah, there was a time. Yeah, that was primary.
Now as you stand.
No, I don't think I can remember. There's no other memory that can come to mind. Yeah.
Nice.
Kudos to you.
You're better than me.
Definitely. Personally, I feel like most of like the point in which I stand in terms of comparison is like I compare myself out of insecurity. So I remember, like I earlier on said, my sister, very smart, she got an A. I remember she was heavily awarded. Like, there was a time I had 11K in my M-Pesa, none of which was mine. It was just hers. And that approximately from that period of time of festivity, she easily got around roughly 15K. Was it 15? Let me just say, actually, probably more. Probably more.
Wow, good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And I remember me. The funny thing was, the same people who were awarding her were more or less awarding me. So, I remember that period of time, I got 3K, that's it. When I finished my exams. But then, like, a part of me was like, I think what pained me was the amount my parents gave her and the amount they gave me in comparison. And I was like, okay, yeah. Like, I guess I didn't get an A, but way to put it in my face. I really thank God because they felt it. And so, even after awarding her, they also awarded me. And they're like, I know we didn't award you as we should have then, but here it is now. So thank God for that. Otherwise, then you're gonna lay up here. But then, yeah. But you know, the thing is, it wasn't only my parents. There are also other people who awarded me kidogo, and they gave her a lot. So it hurt me, and I was just like, oh wow, okay. But I'm happy for you. Congratulations on your A. What? And then there's also I have two scenarios. I have a friend who is a sweetheart, and literally everyone loves her. Okay, not yeah. Everyone who knows her loves her. So there was a time we were planning a birthday for her. Wait, is that the scenario I wanted to say?
Continue.
No time.
So we were planning a birthday for her, and like so many people were coming in wanting to chip in and just make the day a success. So the day came, so many people came, more than we had planned for. And I also remember that day it rained, and we had bought a cake for her, just a small her. We bought a small one for her, like in specific, just her. But then it rained, so the cake got a bit wet, and because it was also in a bag, the box got a bit misshaped, and the cake was sticking on the box. It was a mess.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was one person, but a couple of her other friends bought her another cake, a bigger one where we could all share and all. And I was like, wow, that's genuine love. Like the fact that people thought to make something for you on your birthday or do something for you on your birthday. The fact that people thought to gift you, the fact that people went out of their way to buy you like a whole cake. I was like, wow, that's actually like so much love. And I felt like a part of me in the past would have been very spiteful and would have been, mbona mi sipendwi? Like, why is it that on my birthday people don't even, but it's a sad truth. Like, why is it that on my birthday people don't even remember me? Why is it that like watu wananiambianga tu happy birthday, ama they just mention me on their story and that's it, nobody even thinks of gifting me. So I felt like a part of me in the past would have been very spiteful, but I think from that day or from that period of like her birthday is when I learned to truly be happy for someone.
Yeah.
Truly be happy for the fact that you actually are so loved. And we like, you know, like and being happy for you for the love that you receive and not thinking of it as why not me. Yeah.
I think for me, the periods of comparison come. This devil is evil. Because for me, they come when I'm having a bad day. Yeah? When things are not going right, that's when I am reminded that 4 years ago, my brother got this and he was great at it. Or 10 years ago, this random cousin of ours achieved this. You know? So for me, I feel like it's just one of those things that I have been able to identify in myself. So like now I feel like I'm able to catch it. Like when I'm feeling a bit bad, and then I start comparing myself, I'm able to stop myself and be like, stop, you know why you're doing this, change like your thought trajectory. Yeah. But also it's one of the I don't know if I should call it a painful lesson or a bitter pill that I needed to swallow is, in this life, people will be better than you.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, every time I say that, I want to cry. I mean, I want to cry. Like even now, I just want to cry. But it's the truth, you know? Like you will say, like you will be, for example, the example Priscilla gave, you and someone else will be competing for this seat. And maybe they'll get it. Why did I say seat? We're not campaigning, but like for this position or this whatever, and they'll get it. And when I was younger, also this is probably just last born behaviors, but when I was younger, my thought process was always, I should have gotten it. They just got it because of this, or they just got it because of this. But something I have learned is a lot of times they got it because they deserved it and you didn't. And that's the end. It doesn't mean you'll get anything better, it doesn't mean you'll get anything worse, it's just the end. So I feel like learning that, it's been painful, but I've had to learn it. And I feel like it's a lesson everyone will have to learn sometime. Like, it's painful, but it's the truth. So some people are just better than you in certain things. It doesn't mean you're bad at it. It doesn't mean you don't deserve love or you don't deserve whatever. But like, it's just life.
It's just what it is.
It's just life.
I like what you said. Gosh, what did you say? Oh, you had to catch yourself. Because same. I remember I got into such a toxic place where, like, I'm comparing, like, everything good that's happening to you. I'm not even thinking, wow, that's amazing. I'm thinking, why didn't that happen to me? Why didn't I think of doing this? What's wrong with me? So I realized that was such a toxic way of looking at things, and there was actually so much jealousy. And at times it's so unconscious because, like, us who have had siblings, we have constantly been compared. So unconsciously it's ingrained in our heads that it's always a competition. So that whole thing of having to catch yourself, because it really sucks to be jealous. Jealous for your friend? Yeah, jealous for your friend.
Sorry.
Oh my god. It actually sucks to be jealous of your friend. Like, you're supposed to be genuinely happy for them. So, yeah. I like what you said about catching yourself, because I also had to catch myself. And I constantly still have to catch myself, so that everything I do for my friends, for my family, comes from a genuine point of, I'm happy for you, instead of
It being
I'm happy for you, but if this would have happened to me, I would have done it better. Or if I wish this would have happened to me. Why is it not happening to me? You get? So yeah.
I think a little bit before I say what I have to say in relation to what you said, Pauline, sometimes you may not get something over someone, not because you didn't deserve it, but because it just wasn't meant for you. You could have done everything to get to that point, but like, maybe it's just not God's time, it's not God's will for you. He has something better in store. So yeah, sometimes God has something better in store for you, or sometimes like wherever you want to go may be good for this person but toxic for you, or maybe you're just not ready. It could be anything. So
true.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't deserve it because umeka tu, then you said I want, utapata. But other times, like, generally, some things are just not meant for you at a certain time. Everything has its time. What's that verse? It's not in Matthew.
It's in Proverbs. It just sounds like a Proverbs.
Karen, what's that verse? Karen.
Everything with its own time, or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's
There's a time for everything.
Yes, there's a time for everything. And I feel like
Ecclesiastes.
no,
It's a
it's a Bible thing.
It's either Ecclesiastes or Proverbs.
Yeah.
It's definitely a Songs of a Solomon thing.
Yeah, so just that verse, there's a time for everything. I feel like it can even apply personally. There's a time for everything for each individual person, Okay, yeah. So for me, gosh, I feel like I'm still in the process of getting a healthy view towards comparison. Because everybody has compared me to my sister all my life. Like, even me subconsciously, I'll compare myself to my sister sometimes, yeah. So if like she's doing this badly, I might be a bit hard on her, or harder than I would be on most people, because I'm like, no, you need to do this, right? We need to do this. So that's something that I feel like I need to work on. Like, a lot of people have told me, oh, you're a bit opinionated, and the only place it stems from is my criticism towards my sister. So I feel like, I need to. She's very shocked. So, I feel like that's one part that I need to improve on. Another place that I found myself comparing myself to another person is I was applying to this school with a cousin of mine, and then when I went to check, we were doing post mocks, yeah, or mocks something, and after mocks I went to check the results, and then I had been rejected, but she had been accepted. So like my dad and his siblings, like they were sharing, oh, your cousin has entered this school. Then now I had to break the news, like I haven't entered the school. So I couldn't even like tell my dad. I had to call my mom and tell her and just be like, tell dad I'm sorry, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get in. But so I felt at that point I felt so insecure in myself. Then I listened to a song. I listened to a song. It was talking about the way like you need to rise up, like you need to rise up within yourself to overcome all these challenges. And it made me like be okay with where I was, and at the same time be happy for my cousin. So it's like what last year I went and saw her, and I saw her school, and Aki was so sad. Ushanam too, Aki was sad. I didn't even talk that whole time. I didn't talk. I didn't look at anyone. I was just falling silent because I was like, I don't have the mental capability to be here, and I'm going to see her again this year in her school, and my goal is to go see her and genuinely be happy for her. Because although at the time when I listened to the song and I was like, okay, I need to get over this quickly because like the world is moving, it won't stop because I'm sad.
Yeah.
Now I need to go and genuinely be happy for her, genuinely see the school and be like, wow, this is a good place for you. Because if I had gone, gosh, it would have been such a toxic thing for me. I don't think I would have coped, because it's relatively far from my family. I love living with my family. Even though I'll complain I take too long to commute to school, I love being close to my family to the point where like I can call my mom and be like, I need this, I need that, and she's there, So yeah. Anyway, so I think from this discussion we can say that comparison can stem from either insecurity, pride, or contentment. So insecurity, like unaona mtu and you're feeling bad that hujafika huko, or that's now for insecurity. Or for pride, the only reason you're feeling good about your accomplishment is because you're better than others. You're not proud of your accomplishment because you have accomplished this thing. Or contentment, like you're just cool wherever you are, like whether others have accomplished it, whether others haven't accomplished it, whether somebody is above you or below you, you celebrate the small wins without thinking about anyone else, because it's not about other people, it's about you. Yeah. Okay, what are we going to talk about? Sasa acha to quote scripture. Ndio tuseme kuquote scripture.
Aanze kusema tume backslide.
About with 3T, they're not spirit led. If you look at Luke 15 verse 25 to 32, this is the end part of the parable of the prodigal son, and this is after the prodigal son has come. He has been received, he has been forgiven by his dad, he's given like royal clothing, royal linen, I don't know, like good clothes. Then he's taken and he's put like on a high place. A party is held for him, the fattest animals are slaughtered for him. Then the brother comes like from the fields, like from working, and then he meets with a servant of his dad, and he's like, sherehe mmeanza kwa nini? And the servant is like, oh, your brother has come back, and now like they're partying, we're celebrating. And the brother took it in spite, like he was like, how comes? I'm paraphrasing all of this by the way. Go read your Bible for yourself. So the brother is like, why? Now he's like, I won't enter. Singi, why should I enter? Then the dad, it had to take the father to come out to be like, hey, come inside, your brother's come. Oh, it's a party, let's celebrate, Then he's like, he got so spiteful. He said, no, I'm not coming in because, Father, all these years I've served you, I've been your servant, I've worked like a slave, and yet you've never slaughtered an animal for me, you've never held a feast for me. Now
he says, I think with the part he says, you've never even given me a goat to share with my friends.
Like now mtu say amekam after he he forsake alikuacha.
Yeah.
And then now he comes back and then you're celebrating him, you know. So I feel like this brother had a point. He was comparing himself to his brother in a point of pride. So he was like, I've done all these things, na huyu ndio choose to celebrate, you know. He had the chance to go and celebrate with his brother, and for his brother to see, wow, enyewe, this is what I should have become. You know, you should have been the goal that I pursued. Instead nilienda out club party kuwaste pesa yangu, you know. So yeah, I feel like we shouldn't have that mentality. One of the lessons that we can learn from the parable of the lost, because a lot of people, parable of the prodigal son, don't leave. If you leave God, you can always come back, but also don't compare yourself to others in that way. It's unhealthy. It's not great, because you could have entered and been on one of the sides of his father, you know. You're on the left or right side, the other brother is on the other side, you know. You could have been in a place of exaltation, but instead you're in a place of like you're sulking, you're like stucky. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
It
I hope
does.
it did.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think, let's say, we were to make that story a modern life story, would it like, how would you personally react to to, let's say, a sibling who per se was the prodigal son and they came back?
Same.
And you've done everything possible for your family, but then they neglected their family and they're coming back, and then here are your parents all excited for them, yet you know that you struggled so much to build your parents, let's even retirement home or something, and now here they are celebrating another child who didn't even care,
Contribute to anything.
yeah. So how do you think you'd react, like, in this modern life prodigal son story?
If I was a better person, if I, Pauline, was a better human being, I would be happy for my sibling to be back. But the reality is, it hurts when someone is exalted for doing the things that you are expected to do.
Yeah.
For if you do all these things and everyone thinks it's normal, and then someone comes and does maybe half or a quarter of what you've done, and everyone is making such a big deal about it, it hurts. Like, in uchungu, inauma. So I think that the thing is not to make ourselves not hurt, because you can't run away from hurt. Hurt is human, hurt is normal. Pia Jesus aliumizwa. Like, it's very much a part of the human experience. I think the thing we need to learn is how to react positively to this hurt. How, me as the sibling of this prodigal son who has come back home, how will I see my brother and not think about all the things that my father is doing for him that he should have done for him? Instead, how will I think about how amazing it is that my brother is home again? How amazing it is that my brother is, like, safe again, or is no longer spending money badly. Like, how do I shift my thought process from that, even me, I want to be exalted, to, wow, I'm actually very happy this person is here with me today. I think that's the hard thing. The hard thing is not feeling. The hard thing is thinking positively from the negative feeling.
I think also in that story, in verse 31, the dad said, "My son, you are always here with me, and everything I have is yours. But we have to celebrate and be happy, because your brother was dead, but now he's alive. He was lost, but now he has been found." So I think also, don't see yourself as, you know, as the villain of the story, or being in the negative side, because this son, everything he had was his dad's. You know, everything his dad had was
his.
also his. So, like, maybe the dad didn't have to go slaughter a goat for him, because he could take the goat and go with it, la babake angemuuliza. The same way the prodigal son asked for his inheritance, and he was like, cool, go. You know, it's yours. So sometimes you need to look at it from a point of, like, yeah, somebody has come, like my sibling has come and has gotten everything, but they have, at the end of that feast, he'll have to start from scratch. Not from scratch, but he'll have to work to improve himself, grow himself. But who shall grow? You know. So now you grab your brother or your sister's hand and mwende pamoja. You know, so I think it's a point of self-contentment. How secure are you in yourself that you can celebrate others? Even though you're going through challenges, you need to be secure enough in your identity in God so that you can be like, even if like if a couple is struggling for a baby, and you've been trying for like 2-3 years and you keep seeing people getting pregnant, and you know social media ni kama kila mtu in dunia is pregnant.
That's so true.
So and now umekuwa hapo even before 2020 wewe umekuwa ukistruggle kupata mtoto. The best thing that you could ever do is not be spiteful of those couples but celebrate them, because then when your time comes it will be a miracle, and God will be exalted and God's presence will be shown in your situation, you know. Anyway, let's move on, we don't have time. So I think now we can talk about like how we can stop comparing, or how we can overcome the negative nature of comparison, because comparison between things is okay. Like, do I want popcorn ama nataka clips ama apple? Yani sawa, you know, that's just decision making. So that's fine. So but how to overcome the negative part of comparison? I think one, we've talked about it. We should constantly celebrate other people. We should not look at the negative light, but look at the positive light. Because if you're positive about things, even you utashtukia two positive things have happened on you. You know, God will be like, wow, this person, even when Job was being persecuted, you know, he refused to be negative, and then all his wealth multiplied after all these trials had come upon him. I think the second thing, I got all of this from a sermon, by the way, so you can go watch my Todd sermon if you want. Number 2 is be confident in who you are. So be confident in your identity in Christ and what God has called you to do. Something that we were talking about before we started recording the podcast is sometimes, Aki, you want to be the president of Kenya. And you can't be the president of Kenya because ukiingia politics, Aki, utasikia tu sijui don't have what papers, what documents, hapo unaacha tu kupumua, you know. So, but you could be like the best artist in the world, you know, the best athlete in this country, but because you're so fixated on I want to be the president of Kenya, you don't see what other the giftings that God has actually given you and the things that God has actually called you to be. So just being, number 1, first be confident in your relationship with God, and then find out what you're good at and pursue those and growing yourself in those areas. That's how you can overcome comparison, you know, because then you're content with who you are. Like, I forgot to talk about this. Like in my school, people know how to dress. People dress to dress, you know, and they don't dress at cheap clothes. See, at Tumba in Naka expensive. These people buy clothes for a lot of money, So I caught myself at one point, like for a week or two, being like, wow, even me, I should go buy new clothes, even me, I should, you know, those thoughts that are creeping in my head, and I was like, no, pal, you know, where and I think twice, buy plain t-shirts, no hizo jeans, tunaenda shule, you know, because I don't need the fancy things, I don't need clothing to be affirmed in myself and my abilities and my identity in Christ. Thirdly, just compare yourself to Christ. Pauline, you are saying something earlier. Let's say it again.
Well, someone told me that if you must compare, yani you yourself, you know, you can't sit down and not compare to someone. You might as well compare yourself to Christ, because at least with Christ, you know, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you will never be enough. So, like, if you must compare, why not compare yourself to the best? The one you know you will never be able to achieve, so that even when you fail, it's not that painful, because you know you'll never be able to achieve.
True. And also, like, compare yourself to Christ, because, you know, we are Christians. Compare yourself to Christ because we are Christians and we are called to be like it's literally in the name, Christians, be like Christ, to be in the line of Christ, But when you're comparing yourself to Jesus, don't want to be like Jesus. You're a human being, you're going to sin and stumble. He was 100% human, but he was also 100% God. Yeah. So he had the ability to not sin. I don't know anyone who's never sinned. So so because we don't have that ability, we don't measure ourselves according to, oh my gosh, I'm so far from being like Jesus. I'm so like less than, I'm not worthy of God's grace. We measure ourselves. Yeah, we measure ourselves. we measure ourselves. We measure ourselves according to how close we are getting. So we take active steps to make progress, and we are proud of the progress that we are making to become more like Christ.
Amen.
Yeah. My parting quote. Okay, Priscilla.
Actually, on that note, I think comparing yourself to Christ is like constructive comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's more of aiming to grow yourself rather than destroying yourself and your esteem. Yeah. So even when you're comparing yourself to someone per se, besides Christ, let's say I'm comparing myself to an influencer who is like a business mogul or something.
Why did I think about the flu? I'm sorry.
You're comparing yourself not just because you want to be like them, but what steps are they taking? Like being like, if you're seeking to be like them or you want to be someone successful, you just look at, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Where can I improve? It's not like you're killing yourself to be them. You're just making yourself a better version of you.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Miamka.
I think also just to repeat what had been said earlier by Pauline and myself, catch yourself, because a lot of the times it comes unconsciously. So catch yourself and purposely be happy for people.
Yeah.
Purposely remove those negative thoughts from your oblongata.
So, my parting shot is a quote, which is allegedly by Albert Einstein, but like we're not sure. There's not enough evidence to back that up. Lakini tutasema tu for the sake of the podcast. He said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability, let me start it again." He said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." So don't measure yourself according to other standards. Measure yourself according to your standards. Zako. Run your own race, live your own life, and be content with it in accordance to how you're growing.
yes.
That's it. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We hope you take something away from it. You can follow us on our Instagram at P3T Podcast. Yeah, you can email us at p3tpodcastke@gmail.com. You can DM us. You can leave a comment below our post, below our snippet post on Instagram. Please go tell me the way I make nice snippet visuals. Yeah, I want the confidence. Anyway, no, I'm joking. You don't have to do that. So, yeah, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.